to my awesome Wholesale to Million YouTube family. How are you guys doing as you come in to the live stream? Smash the thumbs up for me. Seems like you guys might think why I'm wearing the same shirt as yesterday. About to go hit the gym, but I want to help you guys answer a question that most of you probably are concerned about. Is when you talk to seller, is the question that comes up. I want to think about it. All right, and I'm going to share with you guys what I've learned from this guy. How he responds to that is absolutely amazing, and it has gotten me like really good results. So for those of you who are part of my King Kong Amazing, who purchased the King Kong Amazing Seller Script package, you probably already know already, but for those of you who don't, drop it in the comment. I would like to know from you is when a seller said I want to think about it, obviously majority of the time we know that it's the price, but I want to ask you is what would you guys respond? So drop it in the comment. I would love to hear it. Khang got 9 probably on the contract, not sure if all will sell. What's the best way to finish to find cash buyer? Hashem, if you check out my channel, I share with you 11 or 10 or 11 different ways to find your cash buyers. But I can start naming off some of them. You probably already put it on Craigslist. Don't ever put the property address. Just put like the cross street or whatever, right? Or the locate, or like a cross street or that, but not a specific. Don't put the address in there, okay? Because you're gonna get a lot of tire kickers that might do a drive-by that's gonna cause a problem. All right, you want to speak to potential solid buyers before you give them the address, especially if you never worked with them before. Pop it on Wholesaling House's full-time Facebook group. There's another one that's a real estate investor group on Facebook. One of them has like over 70,000. Other one has over 80 or 90,000 member on there. Pop it on Bigger Pockets. Okay. Pop it on your local RIA. Okay. There should be a local RIA in your area. Google. Okay. Google it. If you don't, post it in there. Call everybody on there. There should be a local Facebook group page as well. Also, too, is Google up your local meetup, wherever the meetup is. They should have a meetup where they do a gathering of all the real estate investor, wholesaler, flippers, landlord. I mean, you name it, right? But it's all real estate related, okay? Post it on there. Call all the local realtor in that area. Call all the local realtor in that area. And then tell them about your deals. All right. So anyways, that's a good way to start. But you got how many properties? 9 properties. And even so, let's just say that out of 9 of them, let's just say 5 of them. So 50 of them didn't close. Man, you still got the other 50, right? You still got the other 50% to close, and that can be a very good day. Truth and Downfall, what up, buddy? Man, haven't seen you in a long time. Victoria Key, King Kong Lee. That's funny. As you guys enter the live stream, smash the thumbs up for me. Show me how strong the Wholesale to Million family is. When I give you guys a shout out, if I add any value, if I answer your questions, this is your guys' day. Drop it in the comment. Khang, do you remember me? Absolutely, man. One of your first subscriber. I'm curious on like who is like my first subscriber. Like who's the first one that saw my video and just said, "Oh, dang, this Asian guy. Okay, I'm gonna follow him." I'm really curious who's my first follower, because they're the one that sets the stone. You know, that sets everything, right? It takes one and then it just keep on rolling. Thanks for everything. Much love and respect, you guys. I was sharing on my Instagram. For those of you who haven't followed me on IG, follow me on Instagram. And I really want to beat my mentor on the following. It's just like an ego thing. But it's a fun game for me. So if you haven't followed me on IG, follow me on IG at Khang.WTM. Khang. Like a period. WTM. Wholesale to Million. And, you guys are part of my happiness. Like each and every single day, I feel like I want to contribute and do something towards my goal and for my future. The day that I'm unhappy and unsatisfied is when I completely do nothing. And, do nothing where I feel like I'm moving forward, right? And my wife spent a lot of times talking about goals, what we're going to accomplish, what we want to make, how we want to accumulate more and things like that. So If you guys are like me, drop it in the comment and let me know. But I want to know, most importantly, is I want to know from you guys, because I post that, I post pictures like that on IG, and I had one of, and I got someone that posted and said, hey, Khang, I just went out to a, to meet with the seller, and they said the phrase, I want to think about it. So I want to help you guys figure that out, and what I learned from somebody else, and we're able to gonna share with you guys. Hopefully this is gonna help you guys out with getting that question all the time. I want to think about it. So before you go on an appointment, this is what you want to say this to them first before you go on an appointment. So that way you don't waste your time driving out there meeting with them if they're not ready to go, right? So you want to ask them. So let's just say the seller's Bob. So Bob, so when I go out there to meet with you, and if we can agree on a price and the term, which is the closing date, are you ready to get the paperwork done and sell your property? That's the one thing that I teach you guys in my King Kong Seller Script package. You want to set the seller mind up right. You don't want that. You want to set their mind up right, that knowing that, hey, this appointment here, if we can agree that they are ready to go. And if they're not, they're like, well, I can't, even if we agreed on the price, I can't move forward. I got to talk to my wife, my husband, my sister. Well, make an appointment where all of them is there. Okay? Make an appointment when they are there, so that way you don't get to think about it. Oh, I want to talk to this person. I want to talk to that person. You want to make sure that when you do agree on the price, that they are ready to go. Right? If they're serious about selling and they're motivated, they are going to go. I mean, they are ready to go. All right? So you don't want to waste. I used to drive to every single appointment. They tell me a price. I do a little bit of research. I feel like, okay, we are like 20, 30,000 apart. Okay, I can go meet them, so I can get them down on price. And guess what happened? I waste a lot of time driving out there, meeting with them, spend like an hour with them, sitting there, talking to them. The end goal is to see if we can make it work or not. That's the end goal. Can we get this deal? Can we make it work for the seller? Can we make it work for us? And if they're not ready to go, then what's the point of going out there to meet up with them? So you want to prep the seller up first. Let the seller know that, hey, I don't want to waste your time. We don't want to waste our time. We got a lot of other, potential property that we're looking to buy. I wanted to know is when I go out there to the appointment, and if we can agree on the price that work for you and work for us, right? And the term, which is the closing date. Are you ready to get the paperwork done and sell your property? And I understand that if the price is not right for you, you're not going to sell it. And, as an investor, we can't have it make sense for us, then we're not going to buy it. But what I'm saying is if we can agree on the term and the price that work for both parties, that you're happy and we're happy, are you ready to get the paperwork done and sell your property? So you want to set that, and they say, yep, I'm ready. If we can agree on the price, Khang, when you go out there, if we can agree on the price, I'm ready. That's when you want to go on the appointment. Not when they say, oh, I don't know, I still got to talk to my wife, I got to talk to my husband, I got some kids that I got to talk to. I just want you guys to make me an offer, and then I will get back to you. You don't want that. That's just driving out there. Maybe for you, for those of you who are new, and maybe you only have one appointment or so, it's good to go out there then to practice, to get more comfortable talking to them. I'm saying, as you're trying to scale up your business, when you're getting much busier, right? When you're starting to get really busy, you only want to go on an appointment that you know that they're ready. Otherwise, you're gonna possibly lose on appointment that the seller might be ready, or a phone call that a seller calls in and they're ready to go, and you're spending time with people that are not ready to go. But for those of you who are new, maybe it's a way for you to get experience. I did that when I first started. All right. So maybe for you is to get experience, to go out there, to get more comfortable talking to seller, and just to be more comfortable, right? Because the more you do it, the comfortable, the better you're going to get. But I'm saying as you grow, you want to make sure you set the intention up front, set the intention up front, and let the seller know that this call here or this appointment here is for us to agree and for us to move forward. If we don't, then obviously, then no, right? But don't want to, but not going out there playing game, wasting anybody's time, man. Mike Lane, what up, King Kong? Show us some checks. Mike, yeah, I'll be showing you guys some checks next week. It's like showing checks. It gets kind of boring, right? After you show so many, it's get boring. So I'm going to show you some really big checks next week. So watch out for it. 125K. 125 G's on one wholesale deal. So for those of you who wants to follow me on IG, once again, it's Khang.WTM. But in this video, I want to share with you guys what I learned, how to handle the objection is I want to think about it. You make them an offer, they say I want to think about it. And I want to share with you how you're going to overcome that. And now I want to be upfront and be honest with you. It's not going to work 100% of the time. But by knowing what to say, by knowing how to say this, it's gonna freaking skyrocket your what's the word? Skyrocket your chance of getting that property under contract. I did not know how to say it. I did not know about this before. I learned it from someone, and I'm going to give it back to you guys. So I want to know right now from you guys first is what do you say? What do you say when a seller said, when you make them an offer and they said, I want to think about it? So I'm going to go here. I'm going to see what you guys say. Drop it in the comment. I want to hear. And if this add any value to you, and when I answer this question or answer any question you guys have, don't be shy, you guys. Smash the thumbs up. Really help the family out, to grow the family, to bring more people onto the channel. That way when you have some deals to sell, I might give you guys some shout out. Joshua Day, hey man, process tip for double closing. Okay, Joshua, really quickly, I do double closing all the time. So here's some tip when you want to do a double closing. So a double closing, Joshua, is just like an assignment. It's the only difference is that now you gonna come in and you have to sign. So the thing is, you don't have to go to the title company. They can send a notary out to you. They can send someone to go after you, to meet you wherever you want. You can be at the beach, you can be at your house, you can be at your work, you can be at an airport, you can be anywhere, and they can send a notary out to meet with you, okay? So what it is that so tip on double closing. Double closing is that when you have a purchase and sale agreement between you and the seller, so you and the seller, there's a purchase and sale agreement between you and the seller. Man, I really want to see if we can get up to 100 people view. Come on, you guys. Share the live. Smash the thumbs up. So the double closing goes like this, Joshua. So there's a purchase and sale agreement between you and the seller that you are going to buy the property for X amount, okay? And you got to remember, if you offer to pay for all the closing costs with the seller, so you got to include that into your price. So let's just say, so typically in my area, it's roughly about 3%, and I'm sure that it's probably plus or minus a few $100 all around the state. So that's just my guess. In my area, it's roughly about 3%, but I don't think it should be more than like that 3 or 4%. So what you want to do is you and the seller agreed on X amount. Let's just say that it's $100,000. You tell the seller, hey, as a buyer, we're paying for all your closing costs. So which means $100,000, if there's no mortgage on the property, the seller walks away with $100,000 in their pocket. All right? Because you pay for all the closing costs. So you got to take into consideration that you're going to come out of pocket roughly about 103 or 104. Now, when I say come out of pocket, doesn't mean that you're going to bring the money to the table. So I'm going to slowly explain this to you, Joshua. So what it is that, so now you got to take into consideration that you're going to be, so you buying it at 100, but it's not going to be 100. It's going to come out to about 103 or 104 because you're paying for all the seller closing costs. That you're going to turn around and you're going to sign this over to your buyer for 150. And obviously you don't want them to see that you're making $50,000 in your assignment, right? Because you don't want them to freak out. You don't want to challenge the intelligent. Oh, this guy here is making more on assignment than me going to fix and flip this property up for the next 3 to 4 months. So what you want to do is you want to do a double closing, okay? So now you're going to sell the property to the end buyer for $150, and you tell your end buyer that they are going to pay for all your closing costs, if that is agreed upon. If not, then which means now you're going to pay for your own seller closing costs and the buyer pay for their own closing costs. So you have to take that into consideration. So if you pay for your own seller closing costs when you sell that to your end buyer for $150, so you got to take in consideration that at the $150, you got to minus roughly about 2.5 to 3%. I would just go conservative and just go 3%. Okay, so now you gotta minus 150, take 150 minus 3%, which means that leaves you whatever that is to you. Okay, that leaves that amount to you. Now you gotta minus that amount from your 103 or 104 where you close with the seller. So that gives you the profit, because a lot of times most people said, hey Khang, on a $10,000 assignment, can I do a double closing? Well, you want to make sure that you got to make sure that there's enough room in there to take care of the closing costs. Okay, Josh, are you following me? So okay, so now let's just say that you said the buyer, hey, you pay for all of the seller closing costs, which is your closing costs. Now you gonna walk away with 150 from the sale from you to that buyer. It's gonna be 150 to you because they're gonna cover all your closing costs. You minus the 150 from the 103 or 104 with the seller. That's how much you walk away with. Okay? So how the double closing is gonna work with your title company or your attorney. Now, I don't know what states you're in, because the double closing might be a little bit different in your area. In my area, what they do is the title company is going to use all of the end buyer's fund. So they're going to you want to have the seller to come in. So you want to tell your title company or attorney to have the seller comes in. The seller signs first. Then what it is you will sign. After you sign, and then your end buyer is going to sign. And it typically can all happen on the same day, or maybe the next day, or maybe 2 day or 3 day apart. Doesn't matter. But basically on your contract of the, like, your sales with the seller will not close. It will be contingent upon you sell that property to your end buyer. So it will be contingent upon you, your end buyer, coming in, sign the final paperwork. Joshua, does that make sense? So the thing is, don't worry where the seller signed, now you sign, and you be like, oh my God, what if my end buyer backed out? Don't I have to buy this property? The answer is no, if your contract is set up correctly. So in my contract, right, if you guys want to use my contract, you have to purchase my King Kong Amazing Seller Script Package. It's not for free anymore. So in my contract, the double closing contract, it will make sure that the closing on between you and your end buyer will be contingent. So, which means the sales of the property will not go through you if your end buyer does not sign off. So let's just say if your end buyer doesn't sign off, now what it is you just got to tell the seller that, hey, you know what, there's something, my partner's going crazy. Now we can't move forward to this because he took off and moved somewhere, or so you have to kind of make something up to let the seller know that, hey, this transaction is not going to go through. But guess what happened? The end buyer already dropped off a non-refundable. So now what you're going to do is you're going to lose your earnest money with the seller. So whatever earnest money is, deposit up front between you and the seller, whatever it's agreed upon, you're going to forfeit that to the seller. Obviously, that's going to, help out, ease off, and the time that they spend and going to closing and all that. Now you can't move forward. You're going to lose that to them. And your end buyer is going to lose the non-refundable to you. So now guess what? You can go back to the seller and you can say, hey, you know what? My partners, he messed up or she messed up. They just took off. I don't know what happened. There may be some family issue or whatever. I don't know what's going on. But we still want to move forward and buy this. But I gotta find a new partner for this deal. So now what you want to do is you can renegotiate with the seller and extend the contract out. And guess what? Now that you have the non-refundable from the end buyer, if the seller say no, what you want to do is you be like, hey, what if we give you some extra money? So let's just say the earnest money with you and the seller is $500. You're going to lose the $500 to the seller, and you want to extend the contract out, and the seller say no. Then money will help you solve a lot of problem in the real estates. And you're gonna offer them some money. And I've done it, when you offer them some money, they just be like, hey, you know what? I'll give you another extra $500 right now. We just need the next 30 days. We want to move forward to buy this property. And trust me, majority of the time when the seller's in so long already, they just want to get it done and over with. They don't want to start over and start from scratch again. All right? So go back, renegotiate, offer more money for the seller. Okay? So hopefully that helps. Okay. Joshua, does that make sense? Did I explain it where it makes sense to you? So remember, the double closing contract between you and the end buyer is completely different than a purchase and sale contract between you and the seller. The purchase and sale contract, and I first thought when I did it, and I made this mistake, and I'm glad that nothing goes, I'm glad that things didn't go wrong. So what I did was I used the purchase and sale contract between me and the seller. Me and the seller, I used the same contract for me and the end buyer. And guess what happened? The contract that I used between me and the seller protects you, right? Protects you. And then all of a sudden I use that same contract with the end buyer. Guess what? Who's going to protect? It's going to protect the end buyer. So make sure it's a 2 different contract. So the purchase and sale contract between you and the seller should protect you 100%. The contract between you and the end buyer should protect you as the seller 100%. They're buying the property as is, where it is. You're taking on no responsibilities. They cannot go back and try to sue you or anything like that. They waive all inspection contingent. They waive everything. All right, so you got to make sure that that contract protects you when you go do that double closing. And like I said, in that contract, there will be a contingent that the sale between you and the seller is not going to go through unless the end buyer signs that sales off. All right? So Joshua, I hope that really helps you out, man. If it doesn't, drop me a comment and let me know what other question you have. But I hope that really, really helps you out. Any other, you guys, drop it in the comment. I want to hear from you. Come on, you guys. We got 56. Let's see if we can get to 100. Let's see if we can get to 100, and also to smash the thumbs up for me. I want to know from you guys is, how would you handle the objections before I share with you what I've learned? James Stanley, Victoria Key, House Solution. What up? Smash the thumbs up as I shout out your name. Tony D. Okay, Tony D, does the seller have to sign any documents if I cancel the purchase and sale contract? I want to get my earnest money back if I cancel the contract due to fail inspection clause. Absolutely, man. So Tony, what you want to do is you want to send them an addendum form. So in the addendum form, you have to put your purchase and sale agreement shall be none and void due to inspection. Shall be none and void due to inspection. And then also too, is you have to include in there that the earnest money shall be released back to the buyers within 3 business days or sooner. Okay, so once they sign that, then you send it to your title company, your attorney, then that should come back to you. The earnest money should come back to you. But some of you might be like, well, what if the seller don't sign? That's why you got to make sure that your contract is set up so freaking strong that it protects you 100%. So for us, if the buyers don't sign the assignment agreement within 3 days that we sent to them, the cancel, then all of a sudden that earnest money will come back to us no matter what. Whether they sign it or they don't sign it. Once we notify them, they now have to sign it. If they don't, we just have to contact our title company. Our title company will send them a letter saying that this is what's going on, and boom, we get our earnest money back. And that is how strong the contract is. So Tony, I hope that helps you out, man. Luke, what up, buddy? Hey, Khang, congrats on that huge fat checks last week. Yeah, man, so everybody's closing. So this Friday here, it's going to get recorded. Gonna go pick it up, and I'm gonna pop it on IG to share it with you guys. So anybody's, if you guys haven't followed me on IG, hit me up on there. Tony, I don't think you can get your earnest money back when you cancel. Truth and downfall, yeah, you can, man. Just make sure your contract is set up correctly. Joshua Day, any experience in using mobile notary, man? Yeah, so you just tell your title company, your attorney, there's a fee that is charged, but it's cheap. A few $100 or whatever, right? Maybe even less than that. I'm just guessing, but it's like I never even care about it. So they will send a notary out to you. I think could probably less than $100. They'll send a notary out to you wherever you are to meet up with you, to make it convenience for you, because you are the one, or I should say whoever it is, the end buyer, is going to pay for it. But the notary comes out and meet up with you. Sarita, how do you get around paying earnest money? I'm not exactly sure what your question is, but the answer, I think what you're trying to say is, how do you get around without putting earnest money down with the seller? Well, the thing is, Sarita, it's not about putting the earnest money down, it's about the amount, right? So when because you have to put in earnest money for the contract to become legal and legit, like it bounds you and the seller together, there has to be an exchange in money. All right, there has to be an exchange, right? So typically, if there's no money deposit or drop off that contract, it's not even legal or legit. From what I understanding, from what I learned from people that when I first started. So it's about the amount that you're trying to go around. I guess that's your question. It's the amount. So, Sarita, typically when we deal directly with the seller, never had an issue where the seller brought up the earnest money issue. Maybe if they have some experience or they work with a realtor or things like that, then yes. But if you work with realtor, then yes, there's going to come to a point where they're going to say, hey, earnest money. And you just tell them, hey, you know what? Our company, we have, we put out multiple bids on other property. We have a lot of property tied up. We don't want to tie all of our cash up on one property. So you tell them the amount. You ask them what amount do they think that the earnest money should be. Most of them will say roughly about 1% of whatever the purchase price is. But you tell them exactly how much you can put down. Typically, like I said, if you deal with seller, even $1 can work. Even just $1 can bound the contract together. But if you have agent involved, obviously sometimes the $1 won't work. So it has to be maybe a couple $100, $500 or $1,000, and then you just have to go find ways to find that money to put up if you are dealing with a very, with a very experienced sellers or with experienced agents that wants that or demand that until you can lock it up. So you just have to tell them, hey, you know what, my company, this is what we typically do. It works for you, great. If it doesn't, no problem. Okay? So anyways, I hope that helps. Any other questions? Come on. Truth and downfall. If you could move to any market in the U.S. to wholesale, where would you move to? Truth and downfall, to be honest with you, I typically, to me, I believe that, work in your market, right? Work in your market, and then once you gain the experience, once you know how to do it virtually, then get into other market, okay? Because to me, it's like, master your market first. And let's just say that your market is just too competitive, prices too high, or in the $800-900 million, whatever it is. I'm sure there's buyer for it, but maybe those are a little bit tougher to find. So what you want to do is trying to go outward, right? Trying to go out. Like I wouldn't jump into a different state, right? So I would want to go out to a different city, another city, another city. So I would go further out in my area, in my states, before going into a different states. Truth and downfall, I don't know if that makes sense. But as far as going into a different states in general, just a different states, I know that there are some really good states that are like super hot right now. So what you can do is that just pop that question on wholesaling full time or go on big pockets. And I promise you, when you drop that question, you're going to have so many people comment. Just say, hey, what are the good market right now, you guys, to wholesale in, and things like that. And there will be people that's going to share with you. All right. And then you just have to do some research on the area. Call some agents, ask them how's the market going and things like that. All right, you guys. How many days do you have to do your due diligence? In the contract, you have the seller sign before you get out to view the property. You want to tie it up as... Start the car before the internet goes away. So anyways, you guys, For those of you who watch all the way to the end, I'm going to get some thumbs down because it took me so long to answer this question. But I want to make sure that I want to hear from you guys first before I answer the questions, before I give you my opinion. And also, too, is that, you know, I want to answer some of you guys' question as well. Is there a free seller script I can use? Sarita, so mine is not free, right? If you want to purchase mine, it includes all the contract, all the addendum. You get to come onto a private Facebook group. My King Kong Amazing Seller Script package is $4.95. It's a no refund, no exchange. But I promise you, if you're having trouble talking to seller, locking you up on the contract, negotiating with sellers, how to do it virtually, you must master being over the phone, communicating with them, the best you can ever pay. $4.95, link is in the description. But remember, don't buy until you're ready and committed to succeed. Otherwise, you're just going to buy it and then put it on a drawers or put it on your table, and it's not going to worth it. I know that there are some free one. I think, let me see here. I think that there is a Facebook group, I can't remember who mentioned it, that there is a free script that you can use. But I can't remember. And it's free. And the thing is, Sarita, you got to know that, do you want to go out and meet the seller, or do you want to do it virtually? If you want to do it virtually, make sure you get the script that's proven to get results. Because what you don't want to waste, Sarita, is time. Right? It's time. You got the script, you learn it, you master it, you study. All of a sudden, 3 months in, 4 months in, you're like, oh, I want to do it virtually. I don't want to go meet the seller, because majority of the script will be like, well, you know, if the seller gives you a price, you'll be like, okay, great, let me do some research, you know, what's the best you can do on it? Let me do some research, and then how about we meet tomorrow or the next day? And then you set the appointment, and then you go out, and then you meet with the seller. What if you want to do it virtually? It's a different way of talking when you want to do it virtually. And trust me, you get to listen to me on the call with seller live, and you're going to see me locking these property up on the contract, not just me, but my purchase manager. Is your script only for virtual? No, Lou. My script is to show you that if you want to do virtual, I show you exactly how to lock you up on the contract over the phone. But if you want to go out there and meet the seller, it's the exact same thing, right? But the thing is that if you want to do it all, we do it all over the phone virtually. So if you want to do it virtually, it's great. But the thing is, in the script, I'll share with you, if you want to go meet with the seller, you ask the same exact questions. You prep them up before you go out there and spend the time to meet with them. You prep them up, let them know that if you agree on the price, that they are ready to go before you go out there and you meet with them. When you go out to meet with them, everything in the script that you need to ask, it's on there. All right, it'll teach you how to negotiate, how to talk to seller, and to get them to drop the price. Boom, boom, boom. I get seller, my purchase manager gets seller to drop 40, 30, 50, even over $100,000 off of their asking price, just by asking the right questions and telling them what your company offer. And so basically it's like music to their ears, right? It's like music to their ears, because they call you for a reason. They call you because they want that hassle-free sale. They call you because they are tired of dealing with the renter. They call you because maybe they inherit an unwanted property. They call you because they're tired of being a landlord. They call you because they get into a financial situation where if they don't sell, they're going to lose the house. So you need to tell them what your company offer that solves that problem. And if you don't know how to communicate right, you're going to lose on the deal, and you're going to hear this. Oh, I want to think about it. Oh, I want to check out another company. Oh, I want, you know, so talking to seller is it's so important, so crucial. Bro, give new info. Your old video have all the info already, or is it the channel for new guys only? So, Broom, you want something new? Drop me a comment. Let me know, what are you looking to, like what is it that are blocking you from where you want it to go? And then I'll answer it, okay? So you guys, when the seller said, here's the answer to the question. When the seller said, I want to think about it. None of you have comment, so I'm just going to say it, because none of you have comment in it yet. Tana Stanley, House Invest 2008, help. Have a hard time selling property with squatter in it. Buyer don't want with squatter. Tina, that's wrong. Some buyer, if the price is good enough, they will deal with the squatter, because the squatter is just somebody that's living in the house where they're not supposed to, and the buyer's going to come in, the buyer's going to offer them some money, or the buyer's going to call the cop, go through the evictions and all that, but offering some money will get the squatter out. You right? I'm sure. It's so it's not that every buyer will shy away from it. It's just you haven't found the right buyer. But there are buyers that don't want to deal with that, okay? So here goes, you guys. When the seller said, I want to think about it, here is what you want to ask the seller. So this is what I learned from someone. You want to ask the seller. Now you want to ask them, is that so, Mr. Seller? So let's just say it's Bob. So Bob, I understand you want to think about it, but I want to know is what is it that you are wanting to think about? Is it the process that you're concerning? Is it me? Or is it the price? Man, that is so powerful, you guys. You try to use it and comment and let me know if it's powerful, if it works for you. All right, I understand, Bob, that you want to think about it, but what is it that you want to think about, you know? Because our whole goal is to see if we can agree on this. So is it the process that you worry about, like all the paperwork or whatever? Is it me that you don't like? Or is it the price? And a lot of time, 99% of the time, it's the price. Oh, okay. Khang, it's the price, man. All right. Well, the seller wouldn't say man, but he or she say it's the price, right? Okay. Well, Bob, I understand it's the price that doesn't work for you. So let me ask you this, Bob. Where do we need to be in price for us to move forward and to get this deal done? So where do we need to be in price for us to go ahead and move forward and get this done? And then you just shut up, and just let them talk. Just let them go on and on and on and on. Just let them say whatever they wanted to say. And then what you want, and you'll be surprised. A lot of them, like, they don't really negotiate. Like, they don't know that you can negotiate, or they feel weird and awkward to negotiate with you, all right? Or uncomfortable negotiating, because a lot of the seller, maybe they never negotiate before. So when you ask them back, where now you open it back up to negotiate and let them know, hey, I know it's not working, so what works for you? And they can come back, and I have sellers said, hey, Khang, 89,000 won't work, but if you can do 90,000, or if you can do 95,000, 9,000, 90,500, right? Then I can, then we can move forward. That's it. But when you don't know that, and you just said, and they said they think about it, and you just hung up the phone and said, okay, well, let me call you back. Why don't you think about it and give me a call back? Majority of time, they don't even call you back. Okay? So you want to get whatever that is, figure out right there and then that you got them on the phone. And if it works, great. If it doesn't work, then you just move on. Right? And then you set them in a follow-up. Okay? But at least now you know that where they're at in price. And that's why they're not moving forward, because of the price. So you guys, smash the thumbs up if that helps you guys out. But man, when I heard it from this guy, it just blew me away. And I start implementing and using it. And man, it works. It works like magic. Trust me. Brunus Empire. Post-marketing video. Yeah, man, it's really hard to get my wife on for marketing, bro. It's really hard to get my wife on for marketing, and she does all of our marketing, and it's so hard to get her on the channel. But if you want to, then you got to purchase her Lawn Super Marketing Blueprint. That's when she shares with you all of her marketing tips, all of our business tips, all the company that we use, how we run our business, how we scale our business, everything, the whole business blueprint is there for you. The link is in the description if you want to check it out. But for those of you who are looking to scale up, who are looking to get to the next level of your life, or next level of your business, and next level of this game, marketing is probably the biggest thing. Because I figure that at this time, you already have money already. Now you're just looking to scale up, which means you're looking for a company to hire your employee. You're looking for a company that you can start doing your marketing. What marketing works best? All right, for those of you who's looking to scale up, I think that is probably something that you're looking for me to tell you. And what I'm telling you, when I first started, and that's, when I started getting and making some deals, and I was a one-man show, obviously with a little bit of help of my wife, but I was taking all the calls, answering all the calls, I was selling the deals. I was talking to agent. I was doing everything by myself. And how you scale up is you got to start figuring out how to delegate and hire employee and know how to train them. And the biggest thing is where you lose money is when you train your employee, because it's going to take up your time. It's going to cost you money, because at the time they're not going to make you money, right? But once you train them up good, they're going to start making you money. So you want to make sure that there's a certain question that when hiring employee, like in the my wife wants super marketing blueprint, I'll share with you a company that we use, all right, to send out all of our marketing. What marketing piece worked the best for us? The one that generates me $125,000 on one wholesale deal. And that's coming from this marketing piece. All right, this marketing postcard. For those that say, oh, letter doesn't work, postcard doesn't work, I don't know what they're talking about, man, but it's working for us. And I think it's all about being consistent and persistent in your marketing. All right, and obviously the amount of market that you can send out, right? So as you grow, you're going to have more cash liquid to dump back into your marketing to grow your business. That's the only way that you're going to grow your business, is being able to take more money and dump it into the marketing that is working, that is proven, that is generating you results. And you know how much money we spent to figure out which postcard works the best? I couldn't even tell you, man. A lot of money. Because when we send out, we spend between $35,000 to $40,000 a month in postcard and letters. And if it doesn't work and we don't get the ROI return, that's a lot of money we waste, right? So anyways, you guys, I just want to let you guys know that. But for marketing, it's really hard for me to get the wife on. It's really hard to get her on. So, and marketing, I don't know anything about marketing. I teach you guys how to sell deals, how to close deal with seller. That is and do it virtually. That is my strength. I get on the phone, boom, lock them up. I get on the phone with seller, buyers, agents, selling the deals. That's what I'm good at. Marketing, no. Employee, no. Right? Train up employee. My wife set a time where she role play with them, where she role play with them on the script and teaching them, and they are able to lock you up in a contract. Like, I couldn't do this all by myself and scalp a business to $250 a month, obviously without her taking care of the back end. No way. So for you to scale up, you must be able to train up another person like you. So the first hire I know you want to hire is the person that's going to take all the incoming call, because they're going to help you filter out the motivated from the non-motivated. That takes the most of your time. All right. So, but the thing is, when they take those incoming calls, it's just so important that they know how to talk to these sellers. Right. So you don't need superstars. All right, your employee does not have to be superstars. And let me tell you what I mean by that. They don't have to be superstar. They don't have to know about real estate. If they do, great. They don't have to be good in sales. If they do, great. But they don't. You don't need superstars, right? So you need average employees that are willing to work hard, that are trainable. They're willing to work and they're trainable. And all you do is you want to train, it's like you have something where you can train them up good. And then you just send them out to battle, right? You want to train your soldier up good. And then when you send them out to battles, they just destroy it, right? So that's what my wife and I do. This is what my wife tells her employee, that when they go bad, you gotta let them go quick. And my wife have no problem of firing them. And she said, if I can train one of you, I can train 100 of you. But the thing is, for you, when you look for superstars are just super rare. They're super rare. So when you lose them, it takes you so long to find another superstar, right? So, and we heard this, when we heard this from a guy, and he said, what you guys need is you need a good system with average people. Look at McDonald's. He said, look at McDonald's. You need a good system with average employee. With a regular average mindset, right? They want to go to work. They want to be on the clock. They want to get paid hourly and things like that, right? You don't need employees that are entrepreneur, that have an entrepreneur mindset like you. That's you. You run the whole game, right? But you need good soldier. right? And you need to train these soldiers up, and they don't have to be superstars. And that's what he said. He said you need a good system with average employee. Okay, because what do you mean by average is just people that are looking for a job, but they have everything that you needed for them for that position. They just need to speak good English. They need to know how to follow the script, and they just need to show up on time, come to work, and things like that. And you have to find a way to motivate your employee. All right, and nothing motivates people more than money. Give them extra bonus. So my wife tells them that, hey, when you close on these deals, and remember, we always ask them what they want because we want to make sure to know where they're at, what makes them happy. So my wife don't ever give the amount. She always asks them. So hey, for our purchase manager, she asks him, okay, so what makes you happy when you close the deal? When you close, when you get these property locked under contract, like what are you hoping to get for every single one of them or whatever, right? And then on the employee, when they take on a cost, we give them bonus every quarter and things like that. And my wife asks them, what do you think you deserve as for a bonus? And things like that before she already know what she's gonna pay them as a bonus, but you want to always ask them because you rather be the one that they say, oh, I'm happy with 100, and you give them like $200 or $300. And the thing is, all of our VA right now are from Philippines, except for our purchase manager. She's from here. And the one thing I want to tell you is, as for a purchase manager, you want them to have somewhat of a salesmanship skill, a little bit. A little bit if they can, if they can. If not, it's just completely okay. Because my wife are able to train up these Philippines girl, and they just crush it on the phone, and they get multiple property locked up in a contract. No sales experience, no real estate experience. They're just good on the phone, and their English is just good, and that's it. So if they can do it, so can you. How many successful mentees do you have that made over 100K so far? Brutus, I don't know about, I don't know what you mean by mentee. You mean like students? Well, I don't do a one-on-one coaching, so I don't have any students. So I guess the answer would be no. Kay, how do you find your VA? Well, if you want to know what company we use to find the VA, how do we train the VA, how do we meet the VA virtually, all right, then you gotta purchase my wife lawn supermarketing blueprint. Hey Khang, just found vacant home and owner address. Should I go to home and talk to them or send them a letter? I would do both. Go to the house, knock on the door. If you're fearless, go to the house, knock on the door, and then just talk to them in person, or you can send them a letter, or you can skip trace them, and you can call them. I don't know why people, I don't know. So a lot of time I get people, comment and say like, hey Khang, I find this. What should I do? Should I send them a letter? Should I call them? Everything you can to get a hold of them. That's the answer. Whatever you can. Billy, hey Khang, how can you structure using your end buyer's fund to use for seller earnest money? Okay, man. So yeah, basically, that's not a problem at all. So what you want to do is, let's just say if you find a buyers and you tell them, hey, so let's just say your earnest money with the seller is $500. Okay, let's just say your earnest money with the seller is $500, and you tell your end buyer that, hey, they need to drop off, let's just say $1,000, but you can't put 1,000. So what you're gonna do is that you just tell your end buyer to drop off $1,000, and then you just tell your title company or your attorney to take that $1,000 and to take 500 of that towards your seller earnest money. Okay, and that's pretty much it. Tan Tran, what up, brother? Got a niece that names that. So, how often do you follow up the prospect? It really depends. Like, we get on the phone, if we are only like 20,000 apart, I'll set up a 3 days follow up, a 5 days, 15 days, 30 days. If the price is really far, then it'll be 15, 30, 60, 90 days, and just continue following up until they sell the property. All right. Victoria Key, how do you keep buyers and seller from meeting? Victoria, you can't. So if the seller live in that property, then obviously for your buyer to do the walkthrough, they must meet the seller. But what you can do is you can prep them up. All right, prep the seller up. Let the seller know, hey, my contractor's coming out there to look at the repairs and to get us a repair bid. And then you prep your buyer up. Hey, you know what? You come out there, you do your inspection, you do your walkthrough, but please don't discuss price with the seller. Please don't discuss. We want to make sure that we can do this together for long term. I trust you and things like that. And then what you want to do is obviously the best is to get somebody have foot on the ground to do the showing for you, to facilitate, to make sure that you let the end buyer know that, hey, we're going to have someone there to facilitate the showing. You do your thing, you do your inspection, whatever you needed. But we're gonna have someone there just to facilitate the showing, and you let them know, hey, please don't discuss pricing with the seller. That is between us and the seller. Okay. So anyways, that's all you can do, and then you just set up and have somebody foot on the ground, and that typically will solve the problem. But a lot of times where, you know, if I get to the point where if I just have to do the showing and if I get no foot on the ground, I just prep the seller up, prep the buyer up, and then just get on the phone with them. And if you feel like you can trust them, tell them, hey, you know what, who else have you done business with? Can I get their phone number? You know, since we haven't done a deal before, I definitely want to make sure that, you know, we're working with someone that's real, that is legit, and things like that. So, and they would understand, right? They will understand. So they can give you a referral. You can call the referral and things like that just to verify them. And then you just have to do what you got to do, is send them out there and meet with the seller. If they end up trying to steal the deal, then you just know that you're not going to work with them again. But don't let that hold you back from doing the showing, because you're so scared to lose the deal that holds you back from doing the showing. And how do I know that? Because that exact same thoughts came across my mind when I first starting out, okay? So anyways, you guys, I'm going to end this. Take care, you guys. Have a great rest of your day. And as always, if you're new to the channel, smash the subscribe button. If you got any value out of this video, don't be shy. Smash the thumbs up for me. Take care, you guys. Have a great rest of your day. And remember, success don't happen overnight. It happens over time. And for those who's willing to sacrifice and do the things that people that other don't do, one day you're gonna be buying the things that people can't buy. You're gonna be traveling to a vacation where people can't go. You're gonna be do things that people can't do because they did not make the sacrifices that you have to make. That's all I gotta say. Take care, you guys.